Hi, everyone. I was wondering how many of us here right now. Is it 5 of us, 6 of us? We should wait a few minutes, and first of all, Jana is going to make an introduction and first presentation for us.
Okay, let me start. Piros, do you hear me properly now?
Yes, I can. Would you please, everyone, there is a chat button. Can you give us a feedback? Can you hear us? Okay, we haven't got anything. So hopefully everybody can hear us. Just if you could give us just a feedback through the message, the chat, if you can hear us, just a thumbs up. Let us see. We have Jan here, Jan, Peter, Nidia, Judith, Bram. Hi, everyone. If you can hear us, please just give us a thumbs up. Hi, everyone. Okay, we should wait just 1 minute and we can start, I believe. Yes, Nidia said, yes, no problem, Jan. I can hear you. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I think, Jana, we are ready to go. What do you think?
Hi, sure, of course. Shall we start?
Wonderful. Yes, we should start. Yes.
Okay.
I would like to kindly ask you to share your screen and let's go.
Okay, sounds great. Good morning from New York City to everyone. Good afternoon to you all in Europe. My name is Jana Shevchikova, and I'm your European connection at the KBC branch in New York that covers North America, United States, as well as Canada. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. The heat is on, as our Belgian colleagues like to say in English. As you know, it's a United Nations General Assembly week here in New York City. And so the politicians are having a hard time in the in the United Nations building, but also outside. We've had over 30 degrees Celsius outside yesterday. We don't know where we're going to end up today, but it's about 20 Celsius today. So what we do here at KBC in New York is provide corporate banking services to our clients from Europe, from our home markets, as we call them, from Belgium, Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovakia, and Bulgaria. And we provide everything from cash management through acquisition loans, working capital solutions, anything you might really need. We really like banking with companies from Europe, unlike the big American banks. We don't need your presence. Here in the US, we can open bank accounts just as if you are a client of one of the KBC Group banks in Europe. I hope you are seeing our presentation and you're seeing the products that we offer. But should you ever have any banking needs, please do let us know. Do ask us a question, whatever that might be. We would be very happy to assist. We are running this series of webinars following our clients' wish list. We did have one on taxes early in January. The link still works, so if you want to listen to that webinar, please do let us know and we will share the link with you. And Piros is so kind in running the webinar today on marketing, on how to really come to America and what the differences might be. And I would like to let you know that we do have 2 more scheduled for this fall. We have a webinar on how to avoid litigation in the US, which is a big thing. We will be running that on October 16th. And the last one for this year, we're hoping to have on November 19th, which will be specializing or concentrating on US commercial contracts. So should you be interested in listening to any of them, please do let me know. I'll share links with you. So without further ado, thank you very much, Piros, for organizing this webinar today. And the microphone goes back to you, and waving from New York City.
So good morning, everyone. Yes, it's Piros speaking. I'm so glad to be here. Greetings from Florida, from the Sunshine State, and here we are, and very excited to provide that kind of great opportunity for you and start a very unique, hopefully very unique and useful presentation for you about the marketing. So let me start, and I hope everybody can see my screen. By the way, I shared that presentation that Jana was talking about, so you can see that at your handout. You can download and you can learn more about KBC Bank. So as I mentioned, I'm from originally I'm from Hungary, and right now I'm in Daytona Beach, Florida, and we have been here. Just a short story about ourselves, just like, first of all, of course, a picture about a beautiful Florida. It's just kind of a motivation. You have to come over to United States and make business here. And a short introduction about myself. I have been here to United States for 8 years. We came over because of my husband's job. He works for a global company, and he was promoted here first to Ohio, Columbus, and after that we moved down here to Florida, Daytona Beach, because his company's headquarters is here. Right now he is charging for Latin America. He is operation director of 4 countries, and it's very exciting. So we are very international family. We have a son. He is 10 years old, and he was born in Hungary, and he is right now 5th grader, and we are of course very, very proud of him. So just I would like to introduce, and if you want to call me Piros, there is a pronunciation of my name is not easy. The first lesson is that you have to figure it out what is the best and the more easiest way to pronounce your name in United States. I have to tell it's not very easy sometimes, but especially with my name, actually it means red, but I never used it before in this way, because this is my name. I really want to stick with it. So, but of course, just a sense of humor, it helps a lot. I wanted to introduce just a short presentation of what we do, how we do, what kind of style we representing here. I have been in the marketing business for 20 years. I used to have a marketing agency in Hungary. And when I came over here, I decided I want to take a rest and a break, and I never ever gonna do marketing again. So here we are, and here I am. And just to start it over, of course, I do what I really good at, and I attracted new clients here very quickly, and more businesses are finding me to help them out with the marketing and how they can launch their businesses here in United States, and what is my experience on that. I'm call myself an international marketing expert based on that many companies working with me on other countries' projects like Denmark or Dubai or even though Poland. And I really love that kind of international atmosphere. And as you can see, we are very international thinker as well. So let's get into the presentation. So I don't want to talk about myself too much. I think it's more than enough to understand what is my background here. The big question, of course, are you ready to come over to America? Probably you remember the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. He plays a young prince who has come to America and to find a true love. Very romantic, right? The only problem, he keeps running up against lifestyle and cultural customs he is unfamiliar with. This fine, however, because true love wins in the end, but probably in Zamunda, where he came from, is totally different culturally than in United States. Of course, when you are gonna come over with your business, we're talking about something as important as moving a business to America. We need to come more prepared than young Eddie Murphy made that in the movie. So this is the main idea. That's why we called it presentation Come to America, because all the time I got the question, I'm gonna come to America. Okay, but where you wanna come? What is your idea? Do you understand the American market? And all the time keep saying what I learned during these years. It's not enough to know English. You have to think American. It really means many things happened with me during these years. And for instance, what happened, just I tried to give to you, and Judith and Jana's request was that to provide you as much examples as possible to understand how does it work exactly in United States. So when I came over, of course, I was devastated. I had language barriers. I had to learn again from scratch, and not just I had to learn English, but I had to learn really American language, because many words they use is completely different what we used to use in Europe. Of course, we got British English education, so it was absolutely different, and even the pronunciation was very funny back then. So I tried to hire immediately in my company native, I mean not native, does it mean it's like Indians, but I really wanted to hire American expert who can help me with the wordage and help me out with the representation as well. I really wanted to learn what is really have to do and how can I do it right. So for instance, I had customers here, and two gentlemen came over, and we went to the first negotiation and first meeting to a very serious company, and he introduced him and his business partner as a partner. And my American colleague highlighted that is not really pretty right if you are going to introduce someone just like a partner, because it's very questionable what kind of relations do you have, the business relationship or a personal relationship. So funny story short, we had to erase that kind of words, and at the next meeting we highlighted that, and they didn't make that mistake again. Basically, what is really important if you are ready to come to America or not ready to America, you already know how your business runs in Europe, but must understand how it will function and operate in the US. The way to do this through marketing research is very, very important. I want to go over step by step which kind of areas we should checking out before the step into the market. Of course, what is the industry, demographics, niche, and law regulation, and what is the differences what you have to check out. Of course, conduct as much market research as you can into individual competitors. Who is your really competitors in this market? Probably in Europe you are alone, you have no competition, but that it doesn't mean you don't have here. So first of all, you have to keep digging by internet, and you have to asking around how you can find your competitors there. You have to know who is your competitors, and make it more deeply, gain an understanding of the industry as a whole as it exists in America. So it's not just in individually know who is your competitors, but altogether what is the market is. Other thing is my favorite topic is a demographic. You should understand what do your customer really want. You're really sure about that your customer really want here in United States than in over in Europe. How will you provide it? What is the channels you want to provide it? And of course, the most importantly, where will you provide it? As I mentioned at the beginning, many people asking me, I'm gonna come to America, and I'm asking back, okay, where do you want to go? There are 50 states, 50 different regulation, different demographics, different people mindset. So all over, of course, United States is quite equal, and every state, but in the regulation level is absolutely can be very, very different. Also, you have to understand in Europe, meanwhile, we have 500 million people. 500 million people. Here in United States, we have over 300 million people, but 47% of the USA remains unoccupied. So a huge area, and I can explain it more visually. If you can see, there are 50 states, and if you are compare where is your country and what is the size of it is very shocking. I usually keep saying that if you would place a Texas map on Europe layout, you can see it covers basically that. That is the size, and we live in United States around 300 million people all over with this huge geography area. It's very funny if you can see Belgium, a little one, or even Hungary here. So you have to imagine is the size is absolutely different. Of course, you have to know what is the population and where is the money goes and where are most of the people lives. Of course, historically, most of the people lives up north in the New York, Boston area is very busy. Of course, California on the other side, and Florida, if you can see, Miami is really packed. And also, just a statistic, last 6 years, over 2 million people moved down here. So we are getting very busy here in Florida too. Okay, let's move on. For instance, there are other demographic interesting things. So there was a 2016 presidential election map about the voter, Democratic and Republicans, and probably you can get more information about that. Who is your real target audience? Who really want to have your products have? Of course, you can see around the big cities is absolutely different, the demographic than in the middle of America too. And of course, it's just a funny thing. We are very lucky in the United States. We have more sunshine than in Europe, of course, which part of Europe you are living, but absolutely is very attractive to many Europeans as well, right? Okay, let's move on. There is an example. It's not probably the biggest business. It's a small business, but it's very important to understand what we do. The Herbert's Bakery launched their business here in Daytona Beach 6 years ago. They came over and they were very enthusiastic, and of course the community was very enthusiastic as well. They provide many different kind of pastries, breads, and everything made from scratch. The only thing, but they make a mistake, they didn't make a market research. They didn't dig in to the market. They haven't realized that Publix, as a big, large grocery chain here, has provide a very good quality bakery things. Of course, not as healthy than they were going to provide. They provided, for instance, at the beginning, cakes and different kind of very beautiful art cakes, but they had to realize that in Florida, as a vacation place, they are not really into that very deep gastronomically interested restaurants and the businesses. So they had to change their business model. So they had to provide, after all, warm and more cooked and homemade soups and other dishes. But also they had to change the brand. The location was absolutely not good. They heard about it. Oh, this plaza, we call it plaza, there where the small businesses can locate it. It's perfect location, but it was not true. It's not the best. So, and they stuck in contract for 5 years. They were not able to move. So it is a hard lesson, and but they learned that, and they have changed, and they are running very well right now, but it was a long time, and they wasted many years. Based on, if they were do their market research, they would have more success more earlier. So I'm sure, I hope he is not bothering you. I'm sharing wrong ideas, because we have a saying, smart people learning out of others' failure. So I want to share with you good ideas and motivational ideas, and of course with failures as well. So the other thing, you have to identify your niche. Every business needs a niche, right? Your niche, niches in Europe may not be the same as it is in the US. Also, can the US market support the niche you want to occupy? You have to ask this very question. And also, will you have adjust your operation to fit into a new and more appropriate niche? You have to compare United States with EU, what is working, what is not. There is another example. So again, I'm sorry, I have, of course, because of my heritage, I have many Hungarian businesses, but in Hungary, there is a big, large shoe company. I cannot tell you the brand, and they were going to come over to United States, and they were ready to come, and luckily they hired a market research company, and we were involved in this project. It's a very special market research method, and I would love to share with you how does it work. But after this research, they find out this kind of line of shoes is not gonna working very well in this market, especially in Florida. They wanted to have a very extravagant and beautiful shoes, but to be honest with you, again, Florida is a vacation place, and they don't want to wear fancy shoes because they want to wear flip-flops. It's the sad but true, but they don't care very much in fashion. But if they would have this kind of research in New York or Washington DC or even in California, maybe the result would be not the same. So that's why it's very, very important. Again, I cannot stress enough to make a research. And so they spare a lot of money in this way, and they came up with another idea. So they have been working on a new line, and they want to launch here in United States. The other thing is most important. I know you had already a presentation about law and of course the regulations. Probably you know and heard about this story about cat and the microwave. It is not an urban legend. It happened. Gina Robbins sued that company because her kitty cat died in a microwave when she wanted to dry her but it was not the right way, and she sued that company, and she won. And yes, there are many these kind of things what happened in the past. Just a personal story I wanted to share with you. I have a friend, and they had a condo, called condo apartment. In Miami, and they moved up here in Daytona Beach, and they wanted to rent out that apartment, and they found a wonderful couple. They were young and happy. Then they were going to move into this apartment. My friend realized they have a dog. Oh my gosh, no dog. It is not a dog place. They wanted to get them out from the apartment. And what happened? The couple sued them because it was a service dog. And if you have a paper which is allow you to bring your dog anywhere, even the restaurant or even any kind of apartment, if you want to move in, you have to allow that. So they won, and they got $5,000 from our friends. So this kind of little tricks make you miserable, but if you are prepared, you don't have to make that mistake. Of course, that's why it's very important to hire a local attorney and a reputable marketing agency to see what's going on that area or that state. What are you going to get in? For instance, you have to be very careful with that called will at will law. So for instance, your employee can say goodbye to you the very next day if something happened with him, and he can move forward, and they doesn't care about you and your business what happened. So, and not every state has that kind of regulation, but you have to be very careful about that. You have to operating, of course, legally. So after that, you identify yourself, and you know what you want to do. Identify these differences, what you have to change. It's very important to understand that there is another example. So we had AR company, augmented reality company, and tech company. They wanted to come over to United States, and we started working with them, but they didn't want to launch official business here, which was a mistake, because the investors usually and others really want to buy products from a company from the United States, and they have a location here. They are very patriot, and they really want to know who is behind of the scenes. So finally, they decided to launch their business in New York, and they opened an office there and hired a local CEO and general manager. And after that, were more easier to get into the market, and they were more reliable and more authentic on the market. So let's move on. Everybody is here, and of course the question is gonna become at the end, but I would be more than happy if you could make notes and sign up what kind of questions would you have. So there is the next step, of course. I know where I fit. No, now what? Once you have done all the groundwork to establish your business in the US, you need to draw customers to you. Of course, it is a sales, so most important part of your business. At some point, you need to build your brand too. And here it is. We are here and we are good at what we do, but we have to spread around the world. We are here. So how do you can do that? This is the very next question. I'm sorry. Little difficulties. So I would like to explain that more about through examples too. The name is very, very important of your business. Again, I would like to share with you another personal story just to understand how does it work in United States. My son, I'm very proud of my son, and his name is Nimrod, Hungarian Nimrod. It means hunter in English, and it's a very Asian name. I was not going to change that name at all. I was not allowed to say any other I was not able to say other name like nickname like Nimi or so on. So I really wanted to find out. I'm sorry, just I was a little bit distracted. I'm sorry about that. I was able to. I didn't know that what is going on in United States. So he was born in Hungary. We came over, and we find out by the time Nimrod is not a pretty good name here because there is an urban language and they don't use it very good aspects. So we try to find out what does it mean. We asked our friends around what do they think about Nimrod, the name, and they said, oh, everything is fine. Of course, they are very polite, but a few days later they came up, probably Nimrod is not the best name here in the United States because it means foolish, is like not so talented, I would say silly. So because of the Bugs Bunny, there was a cartoon, and the cartoon said there was a pig who was the hunter, but he was really a silly and goofy and is not a really talented character. So in urban language, took it over. So Nimrod means silly, not very good meaning. So can you imagine when he was only 2 or 3 years old and I shouted on playground, Nimrod, let's go home. What do they think over there? And it happened in school when he was called out to the stage, and many people started to laughing on him and his name. So we don't want to bullying him in the future. So we are considering to change his name since we are citizens already in United States. So we can change his name to Hunter. Other example, you have to be very careful that might be your name in your country, your company name in your country is perfect fit, but you have to be very careful if it's gonna be fit here too. Just an idea that in French, the very formal suit called the smoking. I probably most of the language call in this way, but here smoking, yes, you are use a cigarette is not a pretty fun name, so you have to leave that name from your company if you want to bring over a fashion company, for instance. Or Norwegian, the name of speed, the word is speed in English is totally different. In Norwegian is name is fart. I'm sorry, but it's not very, I have to watch my language, but you don't want to use that word in public communication, of course. And if you can see, there are examples of what we are representing a few companies here, like newdoggy.com, who is a startup company from Hungary. We use that tagline is pure puppiness. It's a sense of humor. It's very simple, and absolutely everybody gonna understand that. It's very important to highlighting that is keep it simple as much as possible, your name and your tagline. And your tagline should be just 3 up to 4 words, and keep it simple, and all the time, I cannot stress enough, all the time have to check out with an American who is really understand it, what does it mean exactly, because many things can, there are many other meanings, and you have to be very careful. I usually saying that if you know the country idioms, you understand the whole culture as well. There is another company in Miami, and they have a rooftop room escape room business, and they asked us to redesigning their brand. And for instance, we came up with the idea make your getaway, which is absolutely came from another idiom. Abaculus, which is a research company, absolutely is fit and suitable their marketing message, what they really provide. I hope I tell everything here. Let me see what is the time here. I really want to highlighting the personal branding. The personal branding is very important and crucial today. The people don't want to buy products from a no-name company. You have to be out there. If you are a CEO or you have a general manager, you have to get out there and build your personal branding, not just on a company website, but of course in LinkedIn, and you have to be very active, and you have to share your company content as well. If you want to learn about that, I would be more than happy to have with you. It's very important nowadays, and you have to be very careful. Also, you have to, after you have a name, you have a tagline, you have to check out the liabilities as well, and it's gonna, as I mentioned, meet the cultural preferences. For instance, there is a research company I mentioned to you. We had to translate that English to American, to understanding what is going on, and it's because it's a very special method. We had to be very specific and very direct in our communication. So we used a copywriter, and we try to explain that information what they have. So there is a short video I wanted to share with you. Hopefully you can see. So with this particular company, we had to be very careful, and we had to explain exactly the right words and the right time, what they are really doing. It was not easy process, I have to tell, because I'm sorry, just the technical difficulties. It was not an easy process, I have to tell, but because they were very strict with their ideas, but we had to understanding with them, it's crucial to be very specific, and we have to translate everything to American. Other thing is the next step is make your market. So you are out there, you have everything what is perfect to starting your business. And of course, it's not enough to be good, but you have to be seen to be good. There is a marketing part, and keep pushing the sales, but no, marketing is not option. I had another company, they believe that absolutely not necessary to launch marketing, and they just wanted to have sales. But of course, it's not option, because if you don't and you cannot introduce yourself in this way, it's gonna be very hard to explain that. So back to the presentation again. Sorry, so just little technical difficulties what we have here. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I don't share that, and just like coming back to this presentation. So it's more difficult so it's the good news, you can build your own media empire. So already you are very rich, because every tools what you need to be out there is here, and you can use the tools very easily and properly, and in this way you have your own media empire. Just very important to running that too is crucial too. Of course, the sales funnel what you are putting into this marketing gonna generate for you leads, and of course at the end the proposal as well, but you have to use the right way these tools. Of course, we have heard about that the content is the king. Content marketing is still a king. Of course, the engagement is the other king right now, but content marketing is very, very important right now. You should share valuable content. Is like not enough to share something very boring. You have to be valuable, and in this way your brand is gonna be more delightful, and is gonna growing as well. Keep saying is education is very important. If you have something what you can share, and how you can educate them, or if you have a kind of society problems you want to solve, and you are really stand out for that, it's gonna be a great message out the world. And of course, the other thing is a speak visual. As I all the time keep saying, I can speak Hungarian, probably English, but definitely I can speak visual. The pictures what you can share or videos what you want to share have to be very good and the quality. So that's why I really want to press to you the video, importance of the video. There is a latest statistic about that, and by 2021, 80% of all online traffic is going to be video. So you have to really focus on that, and you have to share that as much as possible, as many places as you can. I saw many of you from the industry and architecture industry as well. So I wanted to share with you a company, Kingspan. This is my husband's company too, and you have to check out what do they do and how do they do that. It's a good example. For instance, they have many videos and they are very active in social media, and they are sharing many blogs by the employees as well, and the quality of the marketing is very high level. So I would highly recommend it to copying them and follow them every platform as you can. And there is another example. It's the New Doggy website. Maybe I'm going to turn off the volume and you can hear me in this way. So the short, very short and very simple video is made 41,000 views on YouTube. Only thing what we made is, you can see it's not a very difficult, very complicated video, but we find the right words and the keywords what we aimed in the video text, and it came out, was very popular on YouTube, and you will get this presentation, of course, and you can check out what is the video exactly and how does it work, what kind of wordage that we use. It was more wanted to educate the people how they can buy a puppy online, and we got wonderful views.
And the best part of my job, I think, is really understanding the stories of each of our clients and to try to tell their stories in a very authentic way. The most challenging part, I think, is to make sure that our clients understand why storytelling is so very important in today's online work, whether it's marketing or social media presence. So if you have any questions about how Marketing Express is dealing with social media or what is our approach, then don't hesitate to leave a comment below this video. Thank you.
So as you can see, I wanted to introduce to you my sweet colleague Virag, and we wanted to make videos about more personal messages out there. How do they how they can arrange that marketing difficulties, and how they can come to us. And we really wanted to place faces, not just mine. Of course, I wanted to share that opportunity with my colleagues as well, and of course in this way more authentic. And I highly recommend you do that too. It's not easy, I understand, especially sometimes in English, but you can practice and you can earn your present in this way. I'm sorry, just the back is a blog as another content maker. It's very important still, and highly recommending to use at least 4 times a month 300 words content to be shared. And of course SEO is very important to be set up as well behind of the scenes, because without that is not gonna work. And of course the SEO wise is very important. Backlinks, importance of the backlinks, and it's very crucial to get many voters in this way from other sites. You are good and you are authentic and reliable. Okay, and of course very important to I'm going to share with you another things, of course, as well. The social media part is probably going to have another session. I think I can talk about it hours, but right now I wanted to share with you another videos as well. The engagement is essential, so it's another thing as I mentioned. So it's hard to get organic engagement right now. Facebook decreasing their profit and their engagement, and of course the importance on the social media world as well, because of there are many things going on, and they don't do a great job probably, but you have realized that the engagement is decreasing year by year. The social media helps you earn new customers, spread your message, value, and brand identity as well can grow in this way. You can see these, so I know it's very overwhelming. It's very not easy to find your way, but if you are a B2B business, you have to not have to focus on more ratings or Google ratings as well, but of course reviews, I'm sorry. But if you are a B2C market, you have to taking care of really want to have to taking care of the reviews and the word outside, what they talking about you. And of course there is Amazon and other PPC marketing, which is you can be very attended, and you have to be out there all the time. So that's why usually it's good if you're outsourcing that kind of processing and that kind of tasks, because it's very complicated, and if you can see, it's very difficult to understand how does it work exactly. For instance, if you have a website, you have to your website to have done as much as possible user-friendly on your smart devices, because smart devices are getting upgraded. So Google has decided, for instance, to ranking better based on the quality the website who has a more responsive and a very good quality mobile version as well. So back to the social media marketing, it is latest research the social media examiner provided to us is of course Facebook and social media still increase exposure and increase traffic and generating more leads, which is the most important for all of us. And if you are in a B2C market, of course, the first of all, the Facebook is the best social media platforms for you. But if you are go to B2B business, the Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, then an Instagram and YouTube is the ranking. And so the LinkedIn, for instance, is I think is one of the most important platform right now for B2B businesses, and considering about your personal branding is very important to take yourself out there. For instance, we had a project and I don't know if you have heard about the Sales Navigator. Is a very good tool to use in LinkedIn. We created a very special group and we of course we wanted to have many participants in there. So there was a campaign, and we earned, personally I earned 1,200 new friends, I would say friends, to my page, and everybody was leading to this group. The only thing what my customer made a mistake, they didn't want to make money and didn't want to spend money. I'm sorry, I spent money on the content. So still we have this huge group, but there is no any content. So in this way, we cannot grow that business. So if you want to take seriously to come over to United States, you have to spend money on marketing. There are many, many, of course, it depends on your industry and it depends on your budget, but you should considering to put a large amount of money in a marketing if you want to stand out, because it's a very busy market and the noise is great, unfortunately. So back to the website. The website is, as I mentioned, is Google enhancement. You have to be very mobile friendly. and you have to reflect your values as your brand it is. I checked out all of your websites. I think most of your website is looking good. Of course, I would have some suggestion what you should make, but altogether, I think you did a great job on that field. And unfortunately, there is a trend right now. It's, of course, the marketer saying that I believe you should change your website every 2 years. Of course, in this way, you cannot lose your data and previous ranking. And there are many techniques you can preserve that too. The domain name, as you have a good name and good brand, you have to find the right domain name as well. I do usually recommending to use .com website domain names because I think is still reliable, is more accurate. Of course, I have a client who used the .us domain name. It's fine as well, but also you have to be very careful with that. And you have to be very direct. The people has no time, and you have to provide the information as fast as possible. And of course, it's very important with everything. You have to provide a personal experience for your clients. It means the personal communication is crucial in this way. Okay, so I think it's the last one is a kind of a conclusion, so I don't want to run out of the time. We are almost reached the 1 hour. So the conclusion is very important to make that as you continue to expand your media reach, remember to measure again your performance. It's very, very important if you want to grow, and you have to check out what did you do great and what did you did very good, so you can reach out more clients in this way. And of course, don't forget to continue to perform your market research, and you have to, one of your eyes should on the competitors all the time, and it's important to take bold action if the market is changing. So I think overall I told everything what I wanted. Of course, the 1 hour is not enough to talking about that more deeply. Hopefully you got plenty of information, and it's gonna be useful for you. And hopefully you learned something, and of course this was just the impression, and you can have more details from us. And I'm looking for the questions, and you can chat with me and chat with us, and everybody can see your question in this way. And just please shoot. Has anybody questions? So I don't know if I can, I'm sorry again, I just I try to reach out the presenters as well. So do you have any questions, or you can write it here, or if you want to consult me personally, there is a chance, just let me know. And probably, I don't know, if you want to hear something else. This session will be recorded, and of course I didn't say that at the beginning, but we can hand out that too, and you can check out and you can learn more. Hopefully you understood my very heavy accent, and there was no closed caption, but hopefully you understand me well. If you don't have any question, I would say goodbye, And just let me know. There is my contact information if you want to ask everything. And thank you so much of course, on behalf of the KBC Bank, New York too. And I'm pretty happy and appreciated that great opportunity, and it was very exciting to be prepared for this event, and hopefully we're gonna continue that, and wish all the best for you, and come to America. Thank you. Bye bye.